All right, we're ready to go. That was a lie, though. We are going to talk deeply, very technically, and exclusively about AI. So please buckle up. I'm sure you haven't heard any about it today. I'm just kidding.
Everyone's been waiting for more AI.
More AI.
Just more AI for all.
We may actually wrap our panel exclusively without AI today.
That's our goal.
That is our goal.
If we say AI, you can force us to take a shot later.
Kelly, why don't you introduce yourself?
So I'm Kelly Betts. I'm the Chief Investment Officer at Spark, and I'm actually substituting today for someone who is absolutely fabulous and detail-oriented and knows a great deal more about retail media than myself. Her name is April Carlisle. But I know just enough to be dangerous, so this panel is going to be really wild.
Awesome. I'm Eddie Drake. I am part of our industry strategy team at Snowflake. For those that don't know Snowflake, Snowflake is a data and AI platform. We are powering retail and a variety of media networks for brands and advertisers across many different swaths and patches. But I work really to help brands transform and understand how to get better utility and opportunity from their data. So pleasure to be here. We're going to have a little fun this afternoon. We thought it would be a fun kind of mix-up of the format to do retail media Mythbusters. We will absolutely give homage to the future along the journey, but it really felt like, hey, we are the only thing separating you all from a drink, right? So we might as well have a little fun with this session, maybe provide a little memorable education and insight. And so for that matter, we'll start with the first provocative myth. Kelly, your thoughts, retail media, is this simply a tax, right? Or is there true value and utility?
That's a super controversial question, sir. I think as I look at my clients and what we've experienced out there in the marketplace, it has come to life as a little bit of both, honestly. There's a tremendous amount of value there in terms of what they're offering, but sometimes the approach, particularly as they're very nascent into the media space, feels a little bit more like a tax, because they're basically very interested in spend that historically has not come their way. So it can feel to some of our clients that it is a bit of a tax. But if you get into the deeper relationships, if you get into the scale of what can be delivered, there's a ton of value there. And I know we'll be talking about this later, so I'm just going to bring it up now because I'll steal your thunder. The reality of working with some of the largest partners in the space, like Amazon and Walmart, is there's a ton of value to be derived. There's a ton of insight to be derived. I think the challenge right now is what we do with the rest of the retail media, which is very fascinating and really challenging for our clients because there's so many. There's a new retail media network born every day, and that can be overwhelming for clients. So I would say the biggest challenge right now is how do you show up as a retail media network and show value from day one?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think that obviously it's been an interesting history and course. If you look at conventional, traditional retail media and the contributors as a percentage of revenue, you may venture out to say, yes, this could be close to a tax. I think at the same time, a lot of the legacy of retail media was because of the hurdles, the overhead, the barriers, the struggles that it took to actually assemble, right, such a beautiful cacophony of technology and data, right, to set one of these
bonus
afloat.
Points for cacophony. Is everybody excited about that vocab word? Because I was.
I imagine, and this is not an endorsement, that everyone should have a retail media network, financial media network.
But if you do, Snowflake would like to power it.
As you see with any tech, the commoditization, right, certainly adjusts how the market responds and reacts. I love your point on relevancy. The journey, the consideration for diversity is real. There also becomes kind of this fact of, with just a discrete amount of resource, right? Where do you go to find the best balance so that you're not looking across 93 different networks, to do your job?
Exactly, and I think that's the epic challenge right now as you look at the entire media space, and then specifically at retail media. there are only so many consumers in the world. There's only so many members of your addressable audience. So the more you understand about them, the better, but that doesn't mean that every partner is the right partner for you. And I think that's one of the nuances right now, is understanding how the insights and data get you more selective in terms of how you go to market and how you approach the customer journey, as opposed to trying a little bit of everything.
So that is a great segue to potentially myth number 2. Every retailer, brand, advertiser, globally, let's just say for fun, should launch their own media network.
Please don't. Please don't. There's so many different ways to provide value than becoming a media network. I would say there's some players where it makes a ton of sense, but I think along the way we've lost sight of the value of the data and the insights itself. Again, I'm an American consumer. I have multitudes, but how much about me do you need to know to build the right creative and reach me in the right environment? And that's really the gating factor on how valuable data can be, which is gaining the right insights about your consumer that are actually motivating purchase. And right now we are swimming in data without enough insight. So it's a really challenging time.
Yeah, just quickly building on that. So yes, amen to insight, right? Who are you seeing doing it well? What do you see the rules of thumb, the tips, the pointers to actually pulling that insight forward? How do you use insight among other guideposts to inform your decision on how you move into this next frontier, whether it is a media network or another form opportunity for commercialization?
One of the things we've done at Publicis very well is focused on identity, connected identity, not as the way to target, but as the way to think about who you need to be speaking to in the marketplace, and a way to inform how you go to market as a brand. So we start with the identity first, the core ID, and then we work through attributes and associated places and spaces that these people are likely to engage before we go deeper in any form of a media buying activity. And that's really, really helped inform, and it really helps clients crystallize their own thinking about what they need to do in market, because they have a strong understanding of who their consumer is, who they want them to be, because everyone has an aspirational audience or growth path. And they also have some unexpected delights, some surprises in the data sets around who their audience might be that is purchasing their products or services that they were not potentially focusing on. That could be an unexpected growth factor.
So is there still a pathway? Have we reached the point of saturation? And I guess for those that say, hey, we are going to endeavor, we do have differentiated data, we've got a handle on privacy, we've got a handle on identity, what does that journey look like, right? And how do you find room in the remainder, to kind of open that up?
Well, it is a tough space. I think we were talking about all the retail media networks that have launched that may or may not be retail media networks, because we have, United Airlines. Is that a retail media network? We've got some interesting partners out there that are launching. There are lots of financial, as you
financial
point out,
media.
Financial media. They're entering the space. And what's interesting is, again, I go back to, it's the same U.S. consumer. What are you telling a marketer that they don't know already? And so many data providers are offering purchase-based behavior. What is unique about your data set? And if you can't answer that question, you need to think again about how you're bringing your product to market.
Yeah, I love that point. I would venture to say, based on a very small sample size of those who do this exceptionally well, the convergence of first, second, third-party data, right, far from a profound thought, but that uniqueness of data can really only be achieved by those that do that very well. They have a trust-based covenant with the consumers or the shoppers with whom they interact or are commercializing, right? And they have a diversity of really recent signal that ideally takes kind of what are a whole bunch of raw ingredients and make I wish I had another word like cacophony.
I know, now you're
A
challenged.
delicacy, right? But that's where I won't use the A or the I letters, but
You just saved yourself. You were definitely going to have to do a shot.
machine learning, propensity, right? Algorithmic enrichment to the data takes those signals and makes it. And I mean, again, this is far from a profound concept, but that has got to be the greatest opportunity for those that can harness that, to have a space and a role to play.
Definitely. I would say it's, for many of us that have been on this path for a while, and certainly I would argue that at Publicis we have been working with our clients. It's a journey. It's not a sprint. You're going to have to come up with your data strategy first and foremost, and understand what you have available before you go diving into the deep end. But we are in a really good spot, I would say, in the industry at this stage, because people are not scared of the word clean room anymore. Privacy attorneys are now familiar with what these concepts are. Sometimes they get really excited about certain concepts like the introduction of noise into signal, but that's maybe not the best way to approach certain situations. So there's still a lot of education to be done, but I would say as an industry, and certainly what we've seen across our client base, is there is a lot of opportunity. The data is rich. It's how you bring it together that matters. So you have to have a good starting point, and identity really has been the key for a lot of our clients to make the right choices.
So we've gone through the journey now. We've qualified. This isn't for the faint, right? But it is for those that are disproportionately focused on relevance. These are like crazy taglines. I got to write these down. So the other side of the equation, and you mentioned data clean rooms. I want to, bring another myth right to the conversation. The future of retail media hinges on our ability to measure.
Yes, and I would say one of the challenges to date has been everyone has been very convinced that their data is unique and special. And it is. It's your data. It's special. But the value of your data to a marketer is bringing it together with other data. So sharing and collaboration is key. So data sharing and collaboration environments like clean rooms, particularly that are privacy safe, are essential to growth and let your data be free in the right privacy way, is what I would say to those entering that space. Because I think that's been one of the challenges in retail media, is that everyone has their reporting, their version of incrementality, their version of what's working in their stores, and that's valuable. But our marketers and our brand leads, they all need to understand the bigger picture, and that's where we need to get to.
Yeah, so let's go deeper into measurement. This is not a conventional problem, right? So measuring in a conventional way, certainly doesn't work. You talked about inconsistencies, whether that's in metric, whether that's in methodology, whether that's in timeliness and transparency. From two perspectives, right? From an advertiser evaluating what great looks like in terms of measurement output, what have you seen and what are you celebrating, right? And then I think on the other side of that, as you think about those that are purveying or building the capabilities of which measurement is a tremendous part, what do you advise?
Well, our clients are really excited about timeliness. In other words, speed matters. They want to understand if it's working or if it's not working as quickly as they can. And the challenge is, depending on which industry, it can be a very short attribution window, or it can be a very long attribution window. But I would argue that regardless of when the purchase is made or what the path looks like, there is a timeliness and a relevancy factor of the best possible versions of measurement that our clients are obsessed with. They want to know as soon as possible how to make better decisions.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say, and maybe just to build on that, we're also moving to a time period where the technology, the data, but even the expectation of transparency, now given the introduction and prevalence of privacy-enhancing technology, would say, I've got to do better than click-based attribution. Even ROAS as a metric while that may be good for some, certainly
Great for Google. They love it.
certainly doesn't press the envelope of potential. To that point, verticalized attribution, the idea and concept of two parties together, commonly or mutually blessing a query on performance, which seems like a very reasonable thing, seems to have made its way mainstream. Are you seeing, and is there anyone in particular you want to celebrate for, transparency in this space?
Ooh, that's a tough one. There's lots to celebrate but I would argue that it's still based on the scale that they have. So the speed at which they're able to deliver the reporting and the insights, you have to commend what Amazon has done. I mean, we have amazing case studies around how they've closed the loop from awareness media all the way to purchase, and that's incredible. But again, that can't be applied across necessarily every vertical. Not every marketer is going to have the product for sale on Amazon to do that. So there's a long way to go across the industry to aggregate the data and get the insights moving across the retailers where our clients are showing up. I mean, I would say for a ton of my clients, they're still bought in store. They're still bought in physical stores, and they need faster insights. So, I mean, we're talking about a world where shelf intelligence, why am I not seeing sales increase? Oh, wait, my product wasn't there. I mean, it is that reality that we're moving to that I think is really where a lot of these retail media networks are going to provide value. Amazon was first to get there because they're digital first, but the on-the-shelf moment is coming, and I think we've been talking about it for a while. I think I've been talking about it maybe for 3 years, but I do think it's a path. It's a very worthy path, and we're going to get there.
Yeah, I mean, what is less resonant in terms of an experience to be enticed, engaged, and promoted something that you can't physically purchase?
I mean, we all had that experience during COVID. We couldn't buy toilet paper. It was terrible. Imagine going to the store, no toilet paper. It was awful. But I think realistically, we will get there, and that shelf intelligence piece is going to be what I think is really amazing. And let's talk about the future. Is the reality that marketing could get there first, that shelf intelligence around marketing and marketing, whether it's there or not, actually can improve supply chain and supply chain management because the reads on where the products need to go are going to be there much faster. And that's a really cool closed loop solution if you're a physical retailer.
You heard it here first at 4:48 p.m.
I don't think that's new.
Marketing will solve the world.
We got it. Marketing
it is now the head of the organization. So let's go with our last. This is post myth now. We are totally living up to the billing of this session. The future of retail, commerce, financial, fan, travel, every kind of media you can think of. Big bold prediction. What do you see coming next? And kind of a practical reality that you expect to see, the course of the next year.
Well, over the course of next year.
You can go longer, too, if you want.
No, I don't. I'll be succinct. This isn't that exciting, but it's exciting to me. I love big digital screens inside stores. I'm just going to say that right now. And so I'm expecting most retail media networks with physical stores to have some pretty compelling, innovative ad units coming out that combine the digital to the in-store experience. I may have seen some of it already, so I'm maybe being a little too much foreshadowing here, but there's going to be some really interesting stuff coming out, particularly for holiday season next year, that I think is really going to drive more sales in store versus online.
Anywhere else exciting where you see that pop up? Anything unconventional that you can share with the few friends here?
No, I signed an NDA. I cannot.
That's great. I do think, joking aside, just to kind of wrap this together, we will see a lot go down this venture. We'll see resonance with categories where the data makes sense and is differentiated. We've seen it quite a bit in the space of financial media, which has been around for some time now. The relevance of intent signal from a card swipe or from a visit or from a very diverse set of touch points that are corroborated. Did I get a point for that one?
Corroborated isn't that impressive. I don't know. We should ask the audience.
That's fair.
Just a round of applause for corroborated. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, we got a couple.
Okay.
All right. In a unique way is cool. This word keeps coming across, and we'll leave it at this. Ambient. When is the point where, and can this experience actually evolve into something that is ambient? Meaning, we don't even know that it's there, right? It feels like to me, and tell me if I'm off on this, and maybe this is just because I've been in advertising for as long as I have. You can feel it, you can see it. Do we cross this pattern of ambience in terms of experience and relevance soon?
Well, I mean, we've all seen the movie Minority Report, I hope. Just kidding. But there is this futuristic world that Hollywood's already imagined, where advertising is so ingrained and we're so used to messaging that it is literally everywhere. I hope we don't get there, honestly. So as a marketer and an advertising responsible human, I'm all about marketing and advertising experiences that aren't not present, but that are present in a way that bring delight and make people want to engage with your products. So I'm opposed to that future. I would like to see a future where we have been, where the ads are so damn good, people actually choose to engage with them.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, let's go questions.
Very early in my career, beginning of it.
Oh, we got to get you a microphone. We're going off script here. Hold on. Here we go.
I worked for a company called, you mentioned screens in stores, called Act Media, and we invented ads on supermarket shopping carts and in aisle directories and the instant coupon machine. And in dealing in that universe, retailers going back historically have always been known as like pirates who are looking to extract brand money in any way, shape, or form that they can. Fair enough? Right? The old trade deals, et cetera, et cetera.
You said the word pirate. I don't know.
So as we go forward today with retail media networks, and data has gotten so much more sophisticated, and the retailers have the data, are retail media networks, because the word media is in there, a proxy for a real good consumer media network? Or is it really brands paying to be on retail media networks to extract data, and the consumer is sort of just there? You follow that question?
What you're basically asking the core question,
is it a real
where's
ad
the
medium?
value? Where's the value? Is it the
to
data,
the consumer,
or is
the real value to the learning that the brand gets from the data from the retailer?
Well, I think, as I've just described in my version of the future, it's both, right? The data is something that is irrelevant because the ad experience is informed by it. So it does drive consumer value in general. I think right now, this industry is still so nascent in terms of their use of the data and how we're actually engaging with the consumer based on those insights, that we've got a long way to go. But that's the goal, is to use data to just inform the creative, inform the experience, and not have it just be a silly 300 by 250 or something that isn't that great. And I think we will get there. I mean, I've just seen some of the in-store innovation because of digital signage and the creativity that can now be brought to bear, that I have great hope for the future in terms of what's possible with data-informed creative. And it can be done at the geo level. It can be done in very specific stores in real time. So, I mean, the possibilities are quite cool from a creative and how you get the consumer to engage perspective.
Just quickly, so last big word for me, symbiosis. Ooh. Okay? Joking aside, though, I think that the answer to that question is interesting. If we go back in time to the pirate days, the scale and ability to compute that information, right, extract insight from it, was very different than it is today. I think you now have kind of not only the introduction and inception of more advanced data practice, stronger technology solutions on the side, not only to execute, but really to inform kind of some of the things we've been talking about with data strategy. There is going to be a haves and have-nots when it comes to who does this well, who offers the insight, from the perspective of measurement, but at the end of the day, who's getting utility from it? I think it's very clear that those who are successful have got to provide that utility to the consumer. But obviously, the journey here is only as strong as the results and the output of what those that are actually going through the effort and the endeavor to build the network are actually able to generate from return. And if you aren't generating incrementality, you're not generating that return, you're not generating that resonance, that value exchange is pretty apparently clear, much more so than it was in the days of the pirates. So I have every confidence that we'll see some succeed and thrive. We'll see some not. And I hope that's a reflection of the voice of the customer, or the prevalence of where we see credit cards pulled out and where we don't. Is it drink time?
I think we should not prevent them from getting to cocktail hour.
We're only going to go another 25 minutes, so hold on to your hats. No, just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Metz, thank you so much. Big round of applause.
Thank you. It's been fun.